All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the June 28th, 2022 Hempstead Town Board meeting. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Clavin.
Here.
Councilman Carini.
Here.
Councilman D'Esposito.
I'm here.
Councilman Dunn.
Here.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Here.
Councilwoman Miller.
Here.
Councilman Muscarella.
Present. I'm going to ask our Marine on the board, Councilman Dennis Dunn, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Rise, face the American flag. Place your right hand over your heart and join me. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dennis. All right, Madam Clerk, please call the first item.
On our first public hearing, we have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a two-story wood frame dwelling with two-car detached garage and to remove all litter and debris from the property in Merrick.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this? If not, I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public wish to be heard on item number 1 and did not sign in for it? If not, may I please have a motion?
make a motion to close the hearing and we move the.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a two-story wood frame, one-family dwelling remove, and to remove all litter and debris from the property located in Uniondale.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Does any member of the public that did not sign in and wishes to be heard on item number 2? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move that we pass the motion.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have the petition of the Commissioner of Buildings to demolish and remove a one-story wood frame, one-family dwelling with detached garage, and to remove all litter and debris from a property located in Westbury.
Any member of the board wish to be heard on this? I do not have any slips. Any member of the public that did not sign in wishes to be heard on item number 3? If not, may I please have a motion?
I make a motion to close and accept.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby. Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding regulations and restrictions to limit parking in Merrick and North Lawrence.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips. Any member of the public that did not sign in wishes to be heard on item number 4? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding parking or standing prohibitions in Baldwin, Island Park, and North Baldwin.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips on item number 5. Does anybody who did not sign in wish to be heard on item number 5? If not, may I please have a motion? Please.
I move the public hearing be closed and the item adopted.
Second.
Read, please.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding arterial stops in Island Park, Levittown, and Roosevelt.
Any member of the board wish to be heard on this? I do not have any slips. Any member of the public did not sign in that wishes to be heard on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move the public hearing be closed and the local law adopted.
Second the motion.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding traffic regulations in the vicinity of schools in Levittown.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard on this? I do not have any slips. Does anybody wish to be heard on this item that did not sign in for item number 7? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed and the item adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby,
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller,
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed local law regarding vehicle speed limits in Levittown.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I do not have any slips. Does anybody wish to be heard on item number 8 that did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move that we close the hearing and the local law be adopted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed handicap parking on public streets in Baldwin, Elmont, Merrick, and Oceanside.
Okay, any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips in the public. Anybody wishes to be heard on item number 9 that did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I make a motion that to close and accept.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for furnishing fire protection services in the Anglesey Fire Protection District.
Okay, a member of the board wish to be heard on this? If not, I do have a slip. I have Bonnie Garone. Good morning. If you give your name and address to the record, that'd be awesome.
Good morning, Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. I just have a question, and it's on this, and there are actually a total of 11 similar items for fire protection. All of them state that they commenced on January 1st, 2022. So I'm just wondering, why are we just doing it now, halfway through the year?
If you just identify yourself, thanks.
Supervisor, members of the board, Rich Regina, Town Attorney's Office. These fire protection contract agreements, with the exception of Reckley, did expire on December 31st of 2021. They entered a holdover status where the fire protection providers continued providing the protection. There were negotiations between the town and the various fire districts and villages, and agreements were reached.
Awesome.
Well, where does the holdover protection come from? Is that in the prior contracts, or is that just by custom?
It's been customary practice. Most fire protection contracts go into holdover status while either the village and the fire districts are negotiating with the town that oversees the fire protection district.
Well, since I guess I don't understand, since you knew this was coming and you knew that they expired on December 31st of the last year, why wasn't that negotiation and the agreements done prior to the commencement on January 1st, 2022?
I believe the negotiations were ongoing, but it's not a unilateral decision by the town.
And there's also one of the reasons why the negotiations take a little bit longer than expected is because many of the fire protection areas, the way that they are governed, fall under different budgets. For instance, the fire protection areas that protect the areas in incorporated villages would run June to June, where fire districts would run the regular annual budget of January to December. In addition, there were many state unfunded mandates that had come through over the last couple of years with regards to the fire service that needed to be budgeted for, and all that was part of the negotiations with each one of these fire protection districts.
I understand. I just don't understand why all of that wasn't anticipated and started earlier rather than leave.
Actually, Mr. Regina said there were negotiations, and none of the fire districts had any problem. They don't complain about this kind of stuff because they work with us. We're really good at that.
Yeah, but you're not good at doing this on a timely basis, potentially leaving people unprotected.
By the way, I'm going to take that. Clearly, nobody was left unprotected, and you should not make that representation of any of our fire services. We take fire service. We respect the fire members in every community, and I want everybody to rest assured that no one was ever in danger, and we shouldn't make a false representation and malign our fire services. That's not right.
Okay, so let's just be clear. I said potentially. I did not make the statement that you just, clearly and politically.
Again, you're the one using words potentially. I think the fire services would take an exception with that.
And as someone who spent over 2 decades in the fire service, there was zero potential for any of these areas to be unprotected.
Okay, even if that is the case, and I take your word that it was, and I certainly respect all the members of the respective fire services, and nothing that I am saying should be construed to say otherwise. It's still the responsibility of this town board to do this in a timely manner, and that's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day. I don't have any other slips on this. Any member of the public did not sign in that wishes to be heard on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the proposed renewal contract for the Anglesey Fire Protection District be approved.
Yes, sorry. Supervisor Clayton.
Aye.
Councilman Carini. Aye. Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for furnishing fire protection districts within the East Lawrence Fire Protection District.
Any member of the board wish to be heard on this? I don't have any slips. Any member of the public did not sign in that wishes to be heard on item number 11? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Proposed renewal of a contract for furnishing fire protection within the Green Acres Mall Fire Protection District.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard on item number 12? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for fire protection within the Hempstead Plains Fire Protection District.
Okay. Any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay. I do not have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? Did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I make a motion that the hearing be closed and accepted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini. Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for furnishing fire protection within the Millbrook Fire Protection District.
Don't have any slips. Any board member wish to be heard? Any member of the public wish to be heard? Did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for fire protection within the Roosevelt Field Fire Protection District.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? Not. I do not have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
Roosevelt Field.
Yep.
I move that the proposed renewal be accepted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
A proposed renewal of a contract for furnishing fire protection services within the Silver Point Fire Protection District.
Do anybody on the board want to be heard? I don't have any slips. Anybody not signing in wish to be heard on this item? If not, may I please have a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
It's an aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for furnishing fire protection services within the South Franklin Square Fire Protection District.
Any board member wish to be heard? I do not have any slips. Anybody in the public want to be heard on this who did not sign in? If not, may I please have a motion?
I make a motion the hearing be closed and accepted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for fire protection within the South Westbury Fire Protection District.
Any board member want to be heard? I don't have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard on this? If not, may I have a motion?
I make the motion the hearing be closed and accepted.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
That's an affirmative.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Bizito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed renewal contract for furnishing fire protection within the West Sunbury Fire Protection District.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? I don't have any slips on this. Any member of the public wish to be heard on this item? Yep. If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the proposed renewal contract for the West Sunbury Fire Protection District be approved.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Yes.
Councilman Carini. Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, please call the next item.
Proposed renewal contract for furnishing fire protection within the Woodmere Fire Protection District.
Any board member wish to be heard? Don't have any slips? Any member of the public did not sign in? Okay, if not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the renewal contract for the Woodmere Fire Protection District be approved.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Yes, I'm good with that.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
We have a proposed contract for furnishing fire protection services in the Rec Lead Fire Protection District.
Any member of the board wish to be heard? Okay, I don't have any slips. Any member of the public wish to be heard? If not, may I please have a motion?
Supervisor, I move that the public hearing be closed and the proposed contract for providing fire protection in Rec Lead be approved.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Yes, we have the application of Leon Petroleum LLC to change, for a change of zone from Residence B District to Business X District and for an inclusion into a gasoline service station in the GSS District. We also have, we should do that together, companion? 21 and 22, 22.
22 and 23.
22 and
23.
23. Town Attorney, what do you think?
We have a, yes, and we have the companion application, item 23, of Leon Petroleum LLC for a variance from the provisions of GSS ordinance consisting of 2 pump islands with 4 multi-grade product dispensers, canopy over the pump islands, 3 underground petroleum product storage tanks, each with a capacity of 10,000 gallons, and a 1-story with overall area currently used for attendant transactions and automotive repair. And that is in North Belmore.
Good morning. Identify yourself for the record. That'd be great.
Good morning, Supervisor, Deputy Supervisor, members of the board. Michael Son, Ward, Braff, Koblenz, 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Suite 601, Uniondale, New York. If I may, I would like to make a few introductory remarks, and then after that, ask Chris Tartaglia, who's accompanying me today from High Point Engineering, to give more information about the applications to the board, as well as Barry Nelson, who is also present this morning. Likewise, Alan Leon, the principal member of Leon Petroleum LLC, is present in the hearing room. As indicated in the legal notices, these cases concern the parcels of property situated at the intersection of Jerusalem Avenue and Sawmill Road in North Belmore. The properties are identified on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map as Section 56, Block 213, Lots 101 and 111. The display screen shows the outline of the subject properties that are before the board this morning. As shown, these are a very unique triangular-shaped set of parcels with an overall frontage of approximately 305 feet on Jerusalem Avenue and 319.6 feet on Sawmill Road. Overall, the premises are commonly known as 507 and 2550 Jerusalem Avenue. 2550 is Lot 111, which is the easterly lot. The premises now consist of an improved gasoline service station, including 2 pump islands with a canopy over the islands, tanks, a 1-story building to the east of the islands that is used as an automobile service facility, and associated facilities. The existing improvements for the gasoline service station were approved by the board by resolutions granted in 1993. At the easterly end of the premises, there is a 2-story residential building. That building was constructed in or about 1959, and there were some improvements made to it in 1988. That is lot 111. My client acquired that property in 2015. At the time of acquisition and presently, that property is vacant. There is no one inhabiting that property. And in fact, my client has registered it with the town as a vacant property. It is gutted and it's not suitable for habitation now. That's a very unique parcel because most of the parcel, which overall is approximately 11,130 square feet, is zone business. So it's a non-conforming, formally used residential building in the business zone, except for a small triangular portion of approximately 228 square feet that is located adjacent to Sawmill Road. Mr. Tartaglia and Mr. Nelson will talk about that further in their presentations to the board. The proposal today is to rezone the small residential portion of that property to be included in the Business X district, and then to include that property as well as the existing gasoline service facility into the GSS overlay district. The proposal contemplates discontinuing the automobile service facility and converting that building, renovating it, converting it, remodeling it, for a convenience store in the typical brand of a BP to-go convenience store. As I mentioned, the existing gasoline station was approved by the board in 1993 and has operated continuously since that time as such. The proposed utilization of the site also includes the installation of substantial landscaping to screen the property at the easterly side behind the convenience store, the installation of new grade level parking that complies with the code at the rear of the convenience store, in other words, on the east side of the convenience store, and the closure of 2 of the existing curb cuts on Sawmill Road. Those are the 2 easterly-most curb cuts, and in place of those curb cuts, as shown on the site plan before the board, new landscaping would be situated and constructed. That landscaping area, both on the Sawmill Road side, on the east side, will be fully irrigated so that it will remain in good condition. The board is familiar with the area, I know, and as Mr. Nelson will testify, there are other similar uses of gasoline service stations with convenience stores in the immediate vicinity. Respectfully, based on the testimony that will be presented, we do submit to the board that this will be a significant improvement to the premises. It will remove a house that is not habitable, improve it with only a grade level parking area that is already zoned business, and convert a older service facility into a modern, safe convenience store. Unless there are any questions of me, I'd like to ask Mr. Tartaglia to come forward and give his presentation. Thank you, Supervisor. Okay, Mr. Tartaglia, if you give your name and address.
Thank you, Michael. For the record, my name is Chris Tartaglia, principal owner of the firm High Point Engineering, with offices at 1860 Walt Whitman Road, Melville, New York. Mr. Supervisor, members of the board, Mr. San has done a fantastic job of describing the application. I just want to highlight a couple of points just to ensure the board and the folks in the audience understand what exactly is proposed here. So the existing building itself of just under 1,200 square feet is not changing in size and not being expanded. The 2 automobile service bays are being discontinued and removed, and the entire building is being converted into a convenience store. This is a common occurrence throughout the town and basically the island in general, as service bays are becoming less and less more viable in terms of a business use. When we sat down with Mr. Leon several years ago to discuss this project, we talked about doing a conversion of the site as it sat, with the size of the site without adding the adjoining residential parcel. And one of the things that became inherently obvious was that there was really no room for parking. And obviously, when you create a convenience store use, some of the customers, albeit a small amount, are looking to park and go into the store, not necessarily avail themselves of the gasoline sales, but we do find in stores of this size that the predominant customers do get gas first and then walk into the store. Along those lines, Mr. Leon purchased the property to the east to create that area that's to the east of the building, as shown up on the screen, for parking and circulation behind the building. There will be an entrance door in the rear of the building, as well as one in the front, so that gas customers can make their way into the building and perform their transaction, and also folks availing themselves of the convenience store can get in through the rear of the building. As is shown by the green areas on the east and south sides of the lot along Sawmill Road, we are providing landscaping everywhere on this property that is feasible to provide same. Just areas that are used for buildings, parking, and access aisles obviously cannot be landscaped. In terms of lighting, right now there is a light pole that is directly south of the building, the existing building, that does spill lighting onto Sawmill Road. That light pole is being removed, and the nearest light poles are being relocated approximately 40 feet inboard northerly on the property. In terms of access, the access points on Jerusalem Avenue, 2 curb cuts are remaining the same. The access into the gas station on Sawmill River Road are remaining the same. There are 2 curb cuts, as Mr. San mentioned, that are a little bit further east, which are being closed as a result of this. And again, the landscaped areas will go in the way of those curb cuts. That's really the substance of the application. There's no changes to the pump islands. There's no changes to the tanks. Essentially, the addition of the property here is the key element of the application to create parking and landscaping areas. And also, the existing underground storage tanks were replaced years ago. They are in full compliance with current regulations, double wall fiberglass, and exceed local regulations and requirements. If the board has any questions, I am here for the duration. If not, I will turn it over to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. May I please introduce Mr. Barry Nelson?
Oh, we're very excited about this.
Thank you.
What was that?
You're going to get me excited.
Good morning, Supervisor, members of the board. For the record, it's Barry Nelson, 220 Pettit Avenue, Belmore, New York, 11710. I'll start off. I do have some photographs of the subject property and the surrounding uses.
Did you get them, Janine?
You can just go in the back there and grab it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. You've heard the crux of the application, and what I did is I provided photographs of the subject property, both parcels, and the surrounding uses found on Jerusalem Avenue, Sawmill Road, and some other similar type of gas and C-stores that would be found in the North Belmore locale along Jerusalem Avenue. Beginning, if you look at the official zoning map of the town of Hempstead, and more specifically maps number 88 and 89, you'll find that the typical zoning along Jerusalem Avenue, both on the north side and the south side, as is common throughout the town of Hempstead, is zoned business, typically 100 feet deep on both the north and south side. Various locations, it'll extend further than the 100 feet. Directly opposite the subject property was a rezoning to a CA zoning back in the mid-1960s. So what you find on the north side opposite the subject property, beginning from Little Neck Avenue, going east, is 2 garden apartment type setups, apartments, cooperatives, and they would be the CA zoning running from Little Neck Avenue east of the subject property. The development in the subject block on the south side of Jerusalem Avenue is 100 feet deep business zone from the triangular point of the subject property on the westerly side up to the easterly block, which would be Midwood. The single-family homes along Sawmill Road is well-maintained, colonial, splanches, Cape Cods, and high ranches in design. Many of the parcels that were formerly or earlier in the 1950s, 1960s along Jerusalem Avenue, including in the subject property, have changed their usage from the single-family to mixed-use offices, professional uses, and there are 2-family dwellings in the vicinity of the subject property, including on the south side of Sawmill Road. The Bel Air Nursing Home would generally be just to the west of the subject property, west of Little Neck Avenue. As Councilor mentioned, the crux of this application is to rezone a small portion of tax lot 111 where the residence exists. What you have is that parcel is approximately 6,214 square feet in totality. Approximately over 5,000 square feet is 5,972 square feet is in the business zone. So you have a small portion, and how does that small portion come about to be the residential B district? As I mentioned earlier, typically you'll find the business zone ribbon, both on the north side and south side, 100 feet deep. The easterly side of that tax lot 111 is approximately 113 feet deep. On the westerly side is approximately 80 feet. So there's a triangular portion, and that would be the landscape area generally at the southeast corner of the subject parcel that's up in front of the on the screens. The property, that portion of the property has been vacant for and unoccupied for many, many years. It'll be removed for, as you noticed, landscaping and approximately 7 on-site parking spaces. The curb cuts are both on the north side and the south side of that parcel will be eliminated, so there'll be no access to the Jerusalem Avenue corridor or to the Sawmill Road corridor. The service station, so you're taking approximately 1,500 square feet of building area, removing it, and now providing landscaping and parking on that property. The building itself, where the service bays exist today, will be totally renovated and upgraded for the convenience store. There'll be no enlargement of that building as you see it is today, exists today. Otherwise, that's the crux of this application, and to include the entire parcel and some modification to the GSS overlay district. In my process of preparation for today's hearing, I've investigated and looked at many other locations, and there are many locations throughout the town and on Jerusalem Avenue, the northeast corner of Jerusalem Avenue and Belmore Road, a removal of a service station, a building to the east, and now is a 7-Eleven gas and convenience store. If we go to the west, you'll have similar locations at the northwest, southwest corners of Newbridge Road and Jerusalem Avenue. This parcel is a unique parcel in that it's a triangular parcel. And if we go further along to the west in the North Belmore locale, you come to somewhat a similar parcel that was before this board several years ago, approximately 2015, maybe 2014. It was a service station. It's a triangular parcel at the south triangle of Belmore Avenue, Park Avenue, on Jerusalem Avenue. That is a parcel size smaller than the subject property at approximately 12,100 square feet. It has a convenience C-store, which was the renovation of an existing repair shop at approximately 1,800, almost 1,900 square feet. And it is similar, while it's oriented north and south, and the subject property is east and west. The subject property is a larger parcel and lot area, and it has a much smaller C convenience store at approximately rounded at 1,200 square feet. I looked at that parcel carefully. It's a new parcel in approximately 6 year, new development for the gas C store. It is a BP station, and looked at it how to impact the residential community surrounding that property, both on Belmore Avenue and Park Avenue, where the residents abut that property, and to the south on Sheila Place. Property values continue to appreciate, consistent with the surrounding areas. In fact, a resale of one of the houses on there showed within the development time after the conversion of the repair shop to the C-store. The resale at 1224 Belmore Avenue showed that it increased consistent with other homes in the area outside the commercial development. Nevertheless, the impact or the commercial use is already existing. It has been existing. The station's been there since 1959. The house will be removed for landscaping and parking. The single-family house to the east has already been impacted by the commercial uses along Jerusalem Avenue, and in fact, the applicant is proposing a better development with landscaping to that single residence to the east. Because if you look at my photographs, the property to the east of that single residence, both of those parcels are in a business zone. They provide, it's an office building, one story. They provide parking on the westerly side or the easterly side of the westerly side of their building, the easterly side of that single family residence, right up to the property line. We're providing a minimum of 12 feet on the northerly side, 17 feet of landscape buffer to that single family, which is in a business zone. In my opinion, this is a reasonable request for that subject property. It's unique, and for this area. Again, no access from that parcel anymore. Curb cuts cleaned up, and it's strictly going to be utilized for parking and landscaping to a C-store and a gas station that's been existing since 1959. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Any questions? I'll remain.
Does that conclude your?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have, it's my district, I'm going to.
Absolutely. Council will be, or I can answer anything.
Excuse me?
Before you go, Councilman, I just want to see if Mr. San had anybody else doing any other testimony before the councilman.
No, that's our presentation. Chief, I just
He
want to
did.
mention to the board that last week I did have one phone call concerning the application from one of the residents on Sawmill, and that is Mr., and I apologize if I don't pronounce his name correctly, Jokic, who is at 2540 Sawmill Road. He's across from one of the curb cuts that's going to be closed up if the board grants the application. I sent him a copy of all the plans, but that was the only communication I had directly with any resident.
Okay. I know Councilman Dunn had a couple of questions. You want to start?
Please, Council.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very aware of the people who live in the area. I've knocked on their doors, and they're charming, wonderful folks.
Yes.
But they will not hesitate to call me if there's a problem. So here's what I want to prevent any problems by just asking a few questions, and hopefully
Please.
we'll be able to do it. Okay. The overnight outdoor storage of automobiles, not going to happen there.
Absolutely.
No need for it, correct?
Correct.
Good. You're giving me answers in case they ask, okay?
Yes.
Let's see, you don't have speaker system where you're telling people what to do from the inside? That'll be too loud that the neighbors will hear it?
No speaker systems of that nature.
Excellent. The subject property, I don't want to mention anybody's names. Where's the dumpster going to be? It looks in the picture like there's a chain link fence that's going to be surrounding where the dumpster is in one of the photos on, I think, page 6 in the booklet you gave me.
Yeah.
And if it is, am I correct in saying that's where the dumpster is going to be?
There is a
Right by the house?
there is a proposed dumpster that is on the easterly side. There we are. We're focusing on it, and that will be embedded, so to speak, into the landscape area. It will have concrete masonry walls around it, steel doors, so it'll be entirely secured and covered and surrounded by the landscaping at all times.
Because I see on Belmore Road and Belmore Avenue and Park Avenue, they have arborvitaes around it that really stop the noise and the smell, and that's what you're going to have professional landscapers put in what's been done in other gas stations.
That's correct. Mr. Tartaglia, you want to add any comment on that?
Sure. Thank you for the question, Councilman. So the crash enclosure will be of masonry block, 6 feet tall, solid masonry block, steel doors so that they don't get damaged. And yes, it is completely surrounded by arborvitaes, which will be installed at 6 feet tall at time of planting. And as you've seen at that other station, they only take a few years to get really big. So they will do a great job of shielding that structure.
Okay, now the lack of parking, you're not going to have cars for sale or anything, no boats, none of that stuff for sale because there's no room. Am I accurate?
No automobiles for sale. The new parking is compliant with the code. We have the required accessibility for persons with any disabilities, including the parking spaces and the access and egress from the convenience store.
Okay, talking about people with disabilities, seniors and those with disabilities, will there be somebody that will, if they need somebody to pump the gas for them, they'll come out and pump the gas for them?
Correct,
They'll provide
just
for that?
as in the current situation.
Okay. Okay, so there'll be no sales or leases of cars, trucks, boats, or other motor vehicles. That's
Correct.
okay.
We're eliminating all of those potential issues with the closure of the automobile service facility.
Okay. And you'll make sure that the property is constantly cleared of all debris at all time?
Correct.
The
And Mr. Leon is here, and of course, we'll verify that with appropriate covenants I'm certain the board would want.
All right, the exterior lights, they're going to be located and shielded so not to interfere with any of the surrounding houses?
That's correct, as shown on the plan, and Mr. Tartaglia mentioned. Some of the lights are being removed, and new ones are being placed that would have the shielding on them.
Now, you have a landscape plan that they will constantly keep up the landscaping so it doesn't
That's correct.
deteriorate. It looks like you do a good job, but I just have to ask these questions.
Oh, by all means, and Mr. Leon, again, is here to express that himself.
Okay, so between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., will be full service, or what's the hours?
This will be a self-service station as it is now,
Okay, so,
and the hours are proposed to be the 24-hour operation.
okay,
But there are hours, as in the existing covenant, when persons who are in need would have the gasoline pumped for them.
all right, the fencing, you're going to have the finished side maintained and in good condition at all time, and it should be facing the neighbors, the finished side of the fencing?
Correct, that's correct.
Okay. The food deliveries, they're not going to interfere with, not going to happen at night, and the dumpster removal and the fuel deliveries, they're going to be at hours that aren't going to be disturbing the neighborhood?
Correct, just as with the present operation, and the deliveries to the proposed convenience store really would be from smaller type vehicles. It's a relatively small facility at 1,100 square feet.
And when people that go into the convenience part of it, they'll be parking on a road, running in, running out. It'll be momentarily. It's not going to be a long-term parking where they're going to hang out because they don't want kids hanging out there.
No.
Right?
No, in fact, one of the benefits we respectfully believe come with this application is to remove the house that is not occupied, been there for many years. So that could attract transient type people. And in this fashion, the parking is more than adequate for briefly coming in, securing a transaction, and leaving the premises.
All right, and it will be selling beer, I'm sure, like all convenience stores do. They won't be selling vapes, or will they be selling vapes or marijuana or any of that? Just want to make sure.
Where's Mr. Leon? I don't believe, Mr. Leon, am I correct? No. No.
Okay. All right, hey, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
My questions.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman. What's the hours of operation right now?
The hours of operation presently end at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. So this is going to be 24-hour. And then the other thing is on the east side of the store, what is that, 4 parking spots?
No.
7 total.
Let's focus in on that.
Okay, so I'm looking at the top. I'm looking at the top where you drive in. Then I have it. I see like it's broken off. That looks like it's sort of a turning kind of openness. And then I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that a 5th one down the bottom, right?
Yes, that's
okay. And then I see where you put in the dumpster. And right now I notice the dumpster is like on the side of the building from a picture you submitted, not me. What time are they going to pick up the garbage?
Well, you have a.
Well, that's going to matter. I'm just asking because you're right now you get a dumpster. You submit a photo of the dumpster on the side.
There is a dumpster on the side.
Right. You're proposing putting a dumpster in the back of a 24, and I just got to know when you think you're going to potentially have pickup because you got the spots back there.
That's correct. So it would be during what I would call the regular type daytime hours, not late evening or nighttime or very early.
Not like 4 or 5 in the morning, right?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Maybe an early person. I don't know. I'm just making sure.
No, absolutely. And those hours are subject to regulation per the town code.
Okay. Also, I noticed that, and Mr. Nelson, with his inspiring testimony as always, submitted a couple of photos In fact, again, he submitted these. I did notice at a couple of the new structures, like the 7-Eleven, he sent the picture of it, has some, it looks like almost some fake stone 6-foot fencing, and a couple of the other ones have fencing, and then, greenery abutting the fencing. So are you guys just proposing a fence or a combination of the two? Like I said, he submitted them, so I'm just trying to get an idea of what you're thinking about for the residents.
Well, as shown on the plan, we have a very substantial buffer area.
I got you.
Yeah.
It's green to me. Okay, great. Is there a fence there with buffer, or is it just buffer?
Yes, there'll be a PVC fence.
Okay, how high?
Perimeter, 6 feet.
6 feet? Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
6 feet PVC, so it's good on both sides.
Perfection. Okay, we got a couple of residents that want to, have some
course.
comments here, so if you could stick around for them, that'd be awesome.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute, Councilman Muscarella's got one for you.
I have a question. Is the owner and the operator the same person, or is it rented out to somebody? So the owner of the property.
The owner of the property is Leon Petroleum, and they will have, as they typically do, at present, a individual who is the dealer at the premises. But Leon Petroleum assumes all responsibility for the day-to-day operation.
Okay, so you're saying it's owner occupied or it's rented to a third party?
It's rented to a dealer operator.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Son. All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Like I said, just stick around, and we got a bunch of residents. First, I have Amir and Samar. How you doing? Any speakers, if you go back to the podium and give your name and address for the record, that would be great. Thank you very much. Hi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amir Marfani, and I'm the resident at 2546 Sawmill Road, and I live right across from the gas station. I had some concern, and that's the reason I'm here. I'm going to have my daughter speak first, and then I'm going to follow with the speech.
Okay. Everybody gets, it's going to be 3 minutes for each of you, Sal. I just want to let you know, if she switched over, they're going to switch the clock on you. Okay, and if you could just give your name and address, too.
I'm Summer Marfani.
Hi.
I'm from 2546 Sawmill Road. I just want to say good morning, and I'm here to speak on the issue regarding this expansion of the property. I would like to begin with speaking on the question of whether it's safe or not. Personally, I don't feel super safe. There's already so many people in and out of that area, in the gas station, and hanging around there. And I also see how many kids on my block are always playing outside, and our neighbors are walking. I feel like with the expansion of this property, there will be an increase not only in the amount of people, but the amount of traffic. The street that we live on is already so narrow with cars parked on both sides. I'm a new driver, and it's almost impossible for residents here to safely pull in and out of their driveways and take off. I can't imagine with the expansion how many more cars will be flooding the streets. This is a neighborhood that has recently had a lot of children, and I see them playing every single day outside, whether it's biking or throwing snowballs. I can't imagine these kids having to stay indoors because there are random people right across the street or due to all the traffic. This decision, I feel like, is not safe nor healthy for our neighborhood. Thank you for listening.
A quick note of reference. You said you're on Sawmill Road? What number? And just like on the picture, if you were looking out your door, what would you say right now?
2546?
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you both very, very much. Next, I have Nita Djokic. Hey, how you doing? If you give your name and address of the record.
Hi, my name is Neta Jokic. I live at 2540 Sawmill Road. So when I look out my dining room window, I'll be looking at the parking lot. I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. I'm obviously opposing this matter. I myself have 2 children, 1 on the way. My neighbors who just bought the house in January have 2 kids. Their neighbors have 4 kids. 2 houses down have 8 kids. Anyone who comes down our block will see our block flooded with kids every single day, playing outside all day. When I bought the house, I bought it knowing that I didn't love this establishment, but that's not what I'm disputing. I ended up buying the house knowing that, okay, this service station closes, I mean, they said 10 o'clock, but the lights are off by 8 o'clock. The gas station, the gas attendant pretty much leaves at 9. The convenience store that's there now is very limited in what they sell, so it doesn't attract a lot of people in and out. It's a very quiet establishment in terms of who comes in and out. Now we're gonna open and again, I wanted to ask, they mentioned 24 hours. Is that a 24-hour convenience store? Is that a 24-hour just for the gas station? I live across the street. My husband works overnights. I'm alone with my kids all the time. What kind of crowd is this gonna be bringing in? As they mentioned, they just opened a 7-Eleven, maybe 3 blocks down. Then to the left, 0.3 miles away, whatever it is, we have a Speedway with a full service station, a convenience store. Across the street from that, we have a BP. I understand if this would benefit our community. I don't see any benefit to this at all, except for more foot traffic, more car traffic. Who's going to be lingering in the parking lot at all hours of the night? What are they going to be selling? You only touched on vapes and marijuana. How about beer, cigarettes? How about teens lingering in the driveway that I'm staring at? I can't read the map very well, but from what I saw, the map, they talked about the landscaping a lot. We heard a lot of reference about landscaping. The fence that I saw on the map, I read 4 feet. Maybe I misread that, but they mentioned 6 feet. I didn't really see that. Maybe I'm wrong, but whatever you guys decide, if it goes forward or not, we'd want a taller fence. I only saw a fence along, and she's here, she's gonna speak, along the house who will be in back of it. We'd love a fence if this goes through all around on the Sawmill side. The street is narrow enough. People are gonna be exiting onto Sawmill, not Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is busy as is. At any given time, you can't even drive down the block on Sawmill without being backed up. There's 3 cars ahead of you waiting for other people coming off of Jerusalem to come into our block. It's just beyond congested. All right, that's all I have. I'll leave it to the other people.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Can they address that?
Yeah, I was going to say, Mr. San, you want to address a couple of the concerns she's brought up?
We also have a petition. A lot of our fellow neighbors couldn't be here today because unfortunately it's held at 10:30.
We'll be happy to accept the petition. We'll have the clerk's office take it right now, okay? We'll make it part of the record.
Okay, I had more questions, but I didn't have enough time, so
Oh, it's okay. You know, and like I said, you don't know how we're going to do it, but let's see how the meeting goes today, okay?
The first question.
But both are proposed to be 24-hour operation, and both would work obviously in tandem now. Well, the real benefit, one of the real benefits of this is to remove the house that's vacant and unoccupied and has been for many, many years. And there have been situations previously that Mr. Leon has had to deal with to make sure that people were not, transient type people were not, quote unquote, hanging out at that house or behind it in any way. So now, instead of that house, we'll have a clear ground level parking area surrounded by landscaping and fencing. It'll be easy to police. There'll be security cameras and appropriate lighting. With respect to fencing, there is, again, the 6-foot PVC fence along the easterly side, but in speaking to Mr. Tartaglia, we can also provide a 4-foot PVC type fence along Sawmill, either in front of or behind the landscaping that's proposed on Sawmill. I think it would look better, personally, if it was behind the landscaping, but that's a matter of preference. And that would, in a sense, fence in that area of the site The two speakers who appeared, both are at the area on Sawmill that seems to align where the two curb cuts are now that will be closed. So instead of looking at curb cuts and the side of and rear of a service building, they would have now instead a view of landscaping and fencing, and they would actually have less traffic on the site in front of them and more privacy.
All right.
It's a charming area. That part of North Belmore is, all of North Belmore is charming, but that part of North Belmore will let me know if something goes wrong. And,
yes.
And they definitely, the new families moving in with new kids and more kids coming, and so our job is to protect them. So that's why these questions are really important to them and to us, to make sure that the place that they moved into is the proper place that you would want to move into.
Absolutely, and I'm going to date myself a little bit. I must have been just out of law school in 1993 when I had the pleasure to appear for Mr. Leon on the original approvals. And I've been past that site many, many times. And I do believe, again, this is my personal observation, that Mr. Leon has done a very fine job maintaining it over the years, as with his other properties, and I know he'll do the same.
Okay. All right. Next, we got a lot of residents here. We have Marinko Djojic. Good morning. If you just give your name and address for the record, thanks.
Good morning. My name is Marinko Djojic. I live at 2540 Sawmill Road. I am right across the street, and if you look outside my dining room window, you see the parking lot. And so I was raised in Queens. I moved to Long Island, so I wouldn't have to deal with things like this. I grew up in a building, and the building had a deli 24 hours, so I know all about the 24/7 convenience store, what it could bring, and I'm opposed to it. My wife, my neighbors, we went down the block, the whole block from the corner over here all the way down to the next corner. Nobody wants it. And I don't know what a 4-foot fence would do. I'm 6'2". I see right over it. If I'm on the other side, they can see me. So I don't know what purpose a 4-foot fence would be. And like my neighbor said, there's a whole bunch of kids playing outside, especially in the summertime. There's about 8 to 10 kids at one time riding their bikes, excuse me, riding their bikes, playing in front on the lawn. We have a blow-up castle that we put water in. Kids are splashing. I don't see why or what the need of another one of these convenience stores is. 7-Eleven is right, like a 2-minute walk east, and then you have the Speedway, which is another couple-minute walk to the west. So now this is going to be right in the middle. I don't know. I don't see the point. I don't think there's any reason for it. And the neighbor that's right next east of that property, she's here today, and she's going to have to deal with the noise, the traffic, the garbage. I mean, is the garbage smell going to go away? I don't think so. And that's right next to her door. That's all I got. Any questions?
No, that's all. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for taking the time. Next, I have Cynthia Orlando. Hi, how you doing? If you give your name and address to the record, thanks.
Hi, yes, my name is Cynthia Orlando. My address is 2567 Sawmill Road. I am located just about 3 houses east of that property on Sawmill Road. We bought the house and we moved in 2015. And before I moved in, I would go visit the neighborhood, I would go visit that street, all times of day, all kinds of hours, just to see what kind of block I was moving into. It was a quiet neighborhood, it's full of kids. My child is now 5 years old. She rides her bike down that street. She rides her little cars down that street. And like all my neighbors said, it's full of kids. It's families. Down the block from us is Sawmill Road Elementary School, the biggest elementary school in North Belmore. It's full of families. It has a lot of cars that are coming up and down the block, you know, moms, dads dropping off their kids. We have the school buses. We have the bus stops, you know, and all along Sawmill Road. It's just going to cause a lot of backup, a lot of traffic, unnecessary traffic. And I know that they say they're closing the curb cutoffs. However, you're still going to have people that are going to come and park on Sawmill Road because they're not going to park on Jerusalem. There's not going to be spaces there. They're going to come park on Sawmill Road and take up the spots and park in front of our houses. And for what? There's no need for this. There's already, like everyone mentioned, there's a Speedway. There's another BP just a half a mile west, and then the 7-Eleven, another less than half a mile east, with a convenience store. And like they mentioned, it was already, you know, it's a quiet block. The place closed earlier throughout, you know, the night, and now we're having something that's 24 hours. I don't feel safe having something that's open 24 hours on my block. Who knows what kinds of people are going to come in the middle of the night? It's already quiet and peaceful. So now we're going to make it busier. And as you can see on that triangle part, there's no stop sign there. There's no stoplight there. It's already very hard to make a left turn or even a right turn, especially at 5 o'clock or at 8:30 in the morning or at 9 in the morning when kids, you know, when parents are dropping off their kids or when people are just backing up down Jerusalem. So this is going to make it even more of an inconvenience. So that's just my... You know, and as I've seen on, you know, on the map, it didn't say anything about a 6-foot fence, either on the Sawmill side or that backs up that house. So if it does, you know, end up going forward, we do want it, you know, to have a higher fence and, you know, maybe, hopefully we can just not have it to be 24 hours because I just, you know, like I said, we don't feel safe. We're a block full of families and children. We just don't want that. We don't need that.
Okay.
Thank you for your
Thank you, Mr. Orlando. Thank you for coming in today. Next, I have Brian O'Toole. Good morning, sir. Just give your name and address for the record. Thanks.
Yeah, good morning. Brian O'Toole, 2553 Townhouse Circle. I live directly behind the house that the lady just spoke from. From my bedroom window, I can see the lights in the gas station up until 10 o'clock at night. I oppose the 24-hour exception to this. Also, the curb cuts. Is there curb cuts on Sawmill Road? They didn't say there was. Some people said they're not. Looks like there is from the plan. Also, if you expand the map out a little bit, I requested several times to go to the left, please. Further to the left to the next road, to the next intersection. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not on that map. But on the corner of Little Neck and North Jerusalem, Little Neck Avenue in Jerusalem, I have submitted several times for a stoplight to be put there. They did a traffic
Study.
review, and they came back with, you don't need one. This is a very a lot of people driving back and forth. Sawmill Road is a very busy area because of the school on Sawmill Road. There is a high percentage of, there's at least 3 accidents that I know about on that one specific corner of Little Neck and Jerusalem in the past couple of years, including my mother-in-law. There's, like other people said, there's stores within walking distance. You don't need a 24-hour convenience store. And there's one more point I want to make. Yeah, so I live directly behind it. If any of you guys want to come over to my house and take a look out my bedroom window at 10 o'clock at night, see what kind of action is taking place there, be more than welcome to come over, okay? And also, the gentleman in the center over there, when people are speaking, can you put down your cell phone and stop looking at the Facebook? Thank you. Sorry?
Looking at the map.
No, you weren't, sir. I was watching you for 20 minutes. You're sitting there. Thank you very much for not paying.
Thanks, Mr. O'Toole. Thank you, Mr. O'Toole. And next I have Ann Schulman.
May I speak here?
We generally have everybody go to the back here. Thank you very much. Appreciate you accommodating. Good morning. If you just give your name and address to the record, that'd be great.
Yes, my name is Ann Schulman. I live at 2572 Sawmill Road. I've been a resident for 31 years. My neighbors are much kinder than me. There is no reason for this store, 24-hour operation, to be in our neighborhood. Previously, years ago, there was a plumbing supply store, which faced Jerusalem Avenue, not facing 10 houses along Sawmill Road. This is a unique piece of property. If you look at it, the 7-Eleven down the road, the property is a corner property. It affects one house, the side of one house. With this convenience store and gas station, it affects 10 houses, at least. No less the traffic. We already have people speeding down the road as a cut through from Jerusalem Avenue that go right through our stop sign daily. We have many children, including my grandchildren, who play on this block. This would increase traffic. There is no parking as it stands now. So to have this come to the neighborhood with additional parking, listen, a 4-foot fence is not going to help. Privacy bushes are not going to help. There is going to be lighting that lights up our neighborhood 24 hours a day. Right now, the gas station closes, I would say, about 9 o'clock. This is a 24-hour store facing our homes. Just not the place for it. I'm just going to check my notes. Looking at the condemned housing, it's not optimal, the condemned house that's on that property now, but it's quiet. In 31 years, I think I had to chase somebody off that property twice. It's not an issue. It's a very quiet neighborhood. We always look out for each other. We look out at that property. We make sure that it's maintained as far as we make sure that somebody's doing what they should be doing. It hasn't been an issue. We have Stop and Shop, which is right down the road. We have 7-Eleven. We have strip malls. This is just not the place for it. When the gas station was putting up the lighting that they have now, the awning over the pumps, we didn't complain. It wasn't as bad. The gas station was there. That, you know, it was the way to go. It was the new thing. When you look at the arrows, if they can blow that up, there's arrows leading right out. You go around the parking, and then you come around the building, and the arrow goes right out onto Sawmill Road. So there will be additional traffic to Sawmill Road.
All right.
Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, Ms. Schulman. We appreciate you coming in today. Next, I have Michael Rosenblum. Mr. Rosenblum, if you just give your name and address for the record.
Mike Rosenblum, 2590 Sawmill Road. The bottom line is, when we moved out here, 35 years ago, we moved out here for quality of life. Is selling another bag of potato chips at 2 o'clock in the morning quality of life? How does that benefit anybody that lives in our neighborhood? Somebody that's going to come there is not from our neighborhood. We're not going there at 2 o'clock in the morning to get gas or to buy soda. It does not benefit our neighborhood at all. Secondly, if you talk with the Nassau County Police Department, at the first stop sign, People speed down that road. They blow through the stop sign. There's tickets given all the time because I live at that first stop sign on Sawmill Road. So there was going to definitely be more traffic than there is now. Also, you could build a fence, a 6-foot fence, a 10-foot fence, doesn't make a difference. You could put great shrubbery on it, does not make a difference. If kids pull into the parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning, you think they're going to turn their cars off or turn their radios off? The radios are going to be blasting. They're going to run in, get what they want to get. It does not benefit anybody in our vicinity. Nobody. It benefits somebody that maybe is driving down Sawmill Road and says, let me get a candy bar. How does that help anybody? Does not. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to come in. Next, I have Robert Urcurso. Good morning. If you give your name and address for the record.
Name's Robert Accurso, lived at 2522 Sawmill Road. I'm like the first house at the peak of the triangle. Don't mind me, I'm even more angry than the other woman. My parents have lived there for 56 years. I've lived there since 56 almost. It's beyond ridiculous. You go to Hicksville Road, 4 miles away. There's gas stations starting from there. Like the woman said, the 7-Eleven is, there's 4 gas stations east of this one. Then there's 3 the other way. It's like Rite Aid and CVS's. How many do we need? Literally, I could walk to every one of them. My parents moved in 1966. This town had said that gas station was going away, and they were going to make it a little park, a little village green. This town, I'm sorry if you take this personal, you're not here to protect us at all, because this is a joke. It's ridiculous. I'm a retired member of the service. I was down in 9/11. I've seen a lot of stuff in my life. I'm emotional right now because this is ridiculous. Like they said, I don't have any kids, but I see the new flocks of kids coming into the area. There's so many kids. Next to me is 8. I've seen over the years, this town has lied and said they were going to put a light at that corner. I can't tell you how many times in 56 years I've seen accidents, car wrecks. The Southern State Parkway is right over. They use Jerusalem Avenue as a service road. And at between 2:30 to 7, everybody's coming off of Jerusalem because it's not moving, flying down Sawmill. I see cops all the time. I talk to them at the corner. Guys stop. If they're going, the car's blowing the stop sign going west, they stop at my house in the gas station to give the person the ticket. I walk over to a member of service and go, how many today? 20 tickets one day. Blowing a stop sign. School buses. What do you wait? How many deaths are going to be on all your consciences? You know, from not having a light. The man who's on Little Neck. How many cars? The way the road is, you can't see. And it's so congested, people pulling out. I mean, they were going to, at one point, Town of Hempstead was going to make Sawmill one way so it would relieve traffic. That didn't happen. The light didn't happen. Like I said, I wish I'm computer-oriented and I'd find how many accidents that's been on that corner where that triangle meets Jerusalem. We need this like a hole in the head. And like I said, I look out, I see how much the gas is going up that day. That triangle. Don't tell me that lies have already been told. That fuel truck comes in the middle of the night. I worked overnights, and I still can't. 13 years retired, I still stay up. I see the trucks come in and pulling in. I hear the dumpster going off. And when I was little, all you heard was, if you're old enough as me, the bell would go off when you ran over the line for the guy to come out to pump your gas. That 3 minutes is a joke, too.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in. Thank you for your service. Next, I have Ann Cunningham. Good morning, Ms. Cunningham. If you give your name and address to the record.
It looks like most of my neighbors said what I wanted to say, but I live on 556 Jerusalem Avenue. My garage is on Sawmill Road, and my driveway is on Sawmill Road. The traffic on Sawmill Road is very, very heavy. And it's a narrow street, so that when the cars are parked, sometimes the two lanes cannot be open. The cars have to move over to the side a lot. And when there are cars parked, it is hard to see getting out of your driveway. Now, if we're going to add more traffic to that, it's going to be impossible getting out of the driveways. So I just cannot see adding any more traffic to that road. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mrs. Cunningham. Thank you very much for coming in. Next, I have Tina Pizzullo. Good morning. If you give your name and address for the record.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tina Pizzullo. I'm at 2561 Sawmill Road in North Belmore. My neighbor is Ann Cunningham. She's right next door to me. I agree with her. The traffic here is terrible. It's horrendous. And if you're going to put a convenience store there for cars to park there, how are they going to get out? Jerusalem Avenue is a bad dream. I'm a New York City resident. I lived in the city almost 30 years. I feel that the city is North Belmore now. There is so much traffic, it's not funny. I almost got ran down a couple of times. They speed so fast, it's not funny. And I asked David Denenberg, I'm with the Sons of Italy also in a few other clubs, and I had asked David to put a light right across the street from Colonial when he was there. Unfortunately, he passed away. He was a good friend of mine, Claudio. And nothing ever came about. I guess he couldn't do anything about it. I told him, tell the legislator, because my friends, when they come to pick me up to go out, it's even the cabs, anything, it's very hard to get out of it, get out of all that. It's so busy that it's dangerous. So if he would have put a light there, the cars would stop and people could go, in their direction. I don't drive because I'm from New York City. There was no place to park a car there. And I never really cared to drive. But when we moved here, I don't even know how or why we got here, I wanted to learn how to drive. But because of everybody driving so fast and there was so many accidents, and when I go down the southern state, I see all these wreaths. And I said, what's that for? And they said, people died there. They had an accident. I mean, it's so scary. No matter where you drive, it's scary now. It's gotten worse and worse over the years. And I don't know how they're going to get out of the convenience store if they build this thing. And also, I was to the inauguration of the 7-Eleven convenience store. Kate Murray was there. I saw her. I know them from the Sons of Italy. Hi. So they don't need another one. I walk everywhere. Unless I'm going far to the bank or whatever, or I'm going to Eisenhower Park for a concert, I take a cab or I go with friends. But I don't drive because I'm scared. Everybody drives so fast, and nobody does anything about it. So I think what they should do is fix that little house up that's been there 100 years and sell it to somebody that could use it. Fix it up or knock it down and rebuild one instead of a parking lot there. Because I don't see how people are going to get out. Jerusalem Avenue is completely full of cars. You cannot even cross the street to go to the post office. And I've seen people get hit. My own dog got hit there. We had to go in the middle and pick him up.
Thank you, as always, for coming in and speaking today. We're very grateful for that. Next, I have Satin Mustafa? Hey, good morning. How are you? If you give your name and address for the record.
My name is Mustafa Setin. My address, my house address is 484 Cross Street, West Berlin, New York. But I working, 12 years, 507 Jerusalem Avenue, same address. I am mechanic over there. So 8 to 6 o'clock, I'm, 12 years, I'm, same place and I work. I don't know what happened, what's going on, but everybody, know me. I'm a real person, honest person, good mechanic, and then also, I'm working nice and good. So, my question, I close to shop. Who take care of me? I have my house mortgage, I have my car insurance, I have, car, something like that. My question is only that's it. Only my point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming in. I do not have any other slips. Is there anybody that did not sign in that has not been heard that would like to speak to item 22? Okay, Mr. San, you want to come on up here? I just have a. What? No, sir. You had the opportunity. And just so you know, but sir, we're not gonna. We don't scream out. We're gonna be civil. We're not. It's okay, Mr. San.
Yes.
Mr. San, here's a question that I have for you. How many employees are going to be there?
At maximum time, it's typically two employees.
Okay, so are the 2 employees parking in one of the 5 spots?
In theory, they could park, yes, in those spots. Unless they come by some other means.
In theory,
Yes.
what does that mean? So are they parking in one of the 5 spots, or are they not parking in one of the spots?
They would be directed to park in one of
They would only park in those spots and
They
not
would
along the
park.
residential streets?
Absolutely no.
Okay.
No residential street parking whatsoever.
Okay. Obviously, you've heard a number of concerns from a lot of the residents, they're very concerned about the 24 hours. They're very concerned about some of the fencing. If you want to address a couple of the items.
Yes, if I could. And I'm going to also ask Mr. Tartaglia. As the board knows, convenience stores are not destination for traffic. They're not destination driven. They take passerby traffic or the traffic that is coming otherwise to the gasoline station. We all understand there are generalized concerns with traffic on all the roadways, but we have to keep in mind also that the property where the parking is proposed at the rear is zoned business, and it could be developed for business use. So it is not appropriate for residential use. This use would actually allow that to be better parking facilities and prevent on-street parking. There'd be no need for anyone to park on-street with this proposed use. And Mr. Tartaglia is going to also comment, if he can, on the traffic circulation, which is designed to bring the traffic back out to Jerusalem compared to Sawmill. Mr. Tartaglia?
Thank you, Mr. San. First and foremost, I just want to thank the residents for coming out and sharing their concerns. It's great to see a tight-knit community come out. I visited the site. Everybody keeps their homes wonderfully. So they really, the amount of concern is totally understood and appreciated. We did not take the design of this property lightly. As I said in the beginning, we elected, or with the clients, pocketbook, we elected to purchase the property next door to create a safe parking and circulation area. But looking at the plan, as Mr. San mentioned, so the way it's proposed is the pass-by lanes along the north and south sides of the building would be one-way circulation, clockwise circulating around the building, so that if somebody pulled into the property and wanted to park behind the building, they would simply pass by the north side and then park and then leave via the south side and then just get right back to Jerusalem Avenue if that's their destination. In terms of traffic, though, I just want to reiterate what Michael San said. Specifically, the ITE, which is the Institute of Traffic Engineers, and this board has unfortunately seen me testify on a lot of gas station applications here over the last 15 or 20 years. It is our specialty. In each and every one of those applications where a convenience store is proposed, the conclusions have been quite simple. Convenience stores do not attract new traffic to an area. What they do is draw traffic from the existing roadways. And with the other stores that are located to the east and to the west, as the neighbors so astutely called out, nobody's leaving their house to specifically come to this station to get a convenience item. They've got other choices. However, they will come to the facility to buy gasoline. And if so, what we'd like to do is get them inside and purchase a convenience products item.
Can I say one question? This is just, you said the convenience store won't attract new traffic, is that right? Or what was it you said before?
Won't attract new traffic to the intersection.
Okay. What time right now does the gas station close?
10 p.m.
Okay. And you're proposing to go 24 hours, right?
That's correct.
Do you think that's going to, attract some customers at a different time?
I think with 24-hour uses to the east and the west, I don't think any new traffic, Mr. Supervisor, will be added to this roadway. I believe the cars are already on the road.
No, I understand the roadway, but to that vicinity, it would add a little more traffic, right?
There would be additional trips into the facility.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're all sort of on the same page.
Yeah, the concerns I'm hearing, Mr. Supervisor, are more the traffic on the roadways, not into the site.
Mr. San, anybody else?
No, that's our presentation. We appreciate your patience and appreciate the residents who have spoken, and any of them are absolutely invited to call me subsequent to today.
I think that's a great representation you're making to everybody here. I think you're seeing a lot of residents who are very passionate about the area. It is a county road, not a town road. So a lot of the concerns are probably, should be for the county portion of it, you brought up. But I think it's great that you're willing to have a conversation with a lot of the people that are here in opposition to it. All right, so with that, can I please have a motion?
Okay. I move that we close the public hearing. And I want to thank everybody for coming out, because you really shed a lot of light on what's going on there from your testimony alone. Whether there was a new gas station going there or not, we were going to ask for a traffic study because of what you said today. I'm going to ask for a traffic study to be done there to see what we can do to make it safer for you, whether it go or not. But my motion is to reserve decision.
Second motion.
Supervisor Clavin?
Okay, and just so the residents know, we reserve decision. We're leaving it open for additional comments from the community, emails, or anything else they want to be submitted can and will be made part of the record. I vote to reserve decision on this.
And to that point, Supervisor, the petition that was given to me is also made part of the official record.
Yeah, and in addition, the town councilman made the reference, we are going to reach out to the county about a traffic study as well as lighting there, since it is a county roadway.
Supervisor, you said, Supervisor Clavin, you had said.
Aye.
Councilman Carini?
Aye.
Councilman Diaz-Esposito?
Aye.
Councilman Dunn? Aye. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby?
Aye. I would suggest that maybe you could have another meeting with the residents and see if you could come up with something that could help.
Thank you.
And is that an aye? Deputy Supervisor, thank you. Councilwoman Miller?
Aye.
And Councilman Muscarella?
Aye. Thank you, and thank you for all the residents for coming in and making your voices heard today, and thank you, Mr. San, for your presentation.
Thank you.
Supervisor, if I may just, for the sake of clarification, Madam Clerk, we called both items together, so the vote was on to reserve decision on both items.
I should have mentioned that both the 22 and 23.
Thank you.
Let the record reflect it was a reserved
Please.
decision on both of those items. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
All right, we have the decision calendar, and we have a resolution adopting a CEQA negative declaration and determination of non-significance in connection with an application for a special exception approval for a parcel of land in Baldwin.
Okay, can I get a motion?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Just a moment. I think you mean to, there's no public hearing unless the clerk would like to, there wouldn't be a public hearing anyway, the decisions.
So it's simply a
it's
motion
adopt.
Councilman?
You're making a motion.
Motion to adopt or?
I move the public hearing be closed and the board adopt the item.
Councilman, there's no hearing.
Nothing here. No.
Adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the administrative calendar.
Actually, we have one more.
Oh, there is one more. I didn't see that. Sorry. 24A, 24. Madam Clerk, please call the next item.
Number 24, we have an application of Grousange Auto Repair for a special exception public garage for automotive body repairs in Baldwin.
Okay, anybody have a motion?
I move the board adopt the item.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Aye. Madam Clerk, please now call the administrative calendar.
Yes, we
Did
have
we
on the
forget you?
administrative
Hold on.
calendar.
Councilman D'Esposito felt like you skipped over him.
Oh, did I?
It's all right.
Maybe it was intentional.
Nothing but love, Kate.
Councilman D'Esposito, here's your vote. Thank you very much.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to move that administrative calendar.
I move
All right, on the administrative calendar, we have items 25 through 60.
All right.
Okay.
I move it from 25 through.
Supervisor, before we begin, item 56 on the administrative calendar is a calling resolution for an amendment to the building zone ordinance. It consists of 2 sentences. It was my understanding that a previous draft of the amendment was uploaded to the calendar, and that has since been corrected, and the corrected draft is up. But I thought, since it's only 2 sentences long, Madam Clerk, with your permission, I would read the 2 sentences into the record.
Please do.
Thank you. Section 401, prohibitions. A, no religious use or educational use may be established or expanded in any use district of the town unless and until a special exception permit has been granted to authorize the same as provided in this article, period. The provisions of this article shall not apply to Article 11E, educational cultural districts E, which shall not be required to obtain special exception permits. That's the entirety of it. Okay. Thank you.
Very, very well done. Any member of the board wish to sever or speak on any administrative calendar? Okay, I have a couple slips. We'll start off with our very own Felix Procacci. Good afternoon, Mr. Procacci. If you give your name and address for the record.
Felix Procacci, Franklin Square. On numbers 48 and 50, we're repurposing Federal CARES Act money. My question is, why does the town highway department, sanitation department, refuge disposal department, parks and operating fund department, and water fund need additional Federal CARES Act funds? And the corollary is, why didn't we offer, if this is a legitimate use of federal CARES funds, to give it to these sort of departments? Why didn't we offer these funds to the village's parks department, the village's highway department, and so on?
But we did that. We did reimbursements to villages with
No,
CARES
but we
funding.
didn't give anywhere near the amount.
No. I'm just saying. You said there were lots of expenses included in a lot of their submissions. It included a lot of these things. So just so you know, the villages were included, and they chose to what their submissions were,
and some villages submitted for fire department portions, some submitted it for their parks, some submitted it for other operations, sanitation. So I just wanted to know it was. But as to your, that's okay.
Saying, but just to clarify that, like for
No,
example.
I did just clarify.
But the federal-
Mr. Mastromarino, could you potentially answer his first question? I was able to clarify the second one for him.
When we received the federal CARES money, we contacted the villages, and they provided listings of eligible expenditures. We vetted all of those claims, and we made many grants to the villages based upon what they needed. Since then, the villages have gotten literally millions of dollars of CARES funding. What this is attempting to do is to offset expenses that the town did not take CARES money for. And in its audit process, in going through all of the claims that were submitted, there were items that were not qualified. So this is an administrative responsibility to say we can't give you that money. We are taking back that grant, and we are offsetting claims and expenses that we incurred that we did not put through the CARES funding.
Thank you.
Yeah, I understand that. The
Okay,
thing
great.
is, but I'll give you a concrete example, so maybe you could explain this concrete example instead of just talking in generality. I know that the Village of Garden City got some federal CARES funds, but it was not for any bathroom renovations, yet we did literally millions and millions of dollars of bathroom renovations with federal CARES money. Why didn't we let the villages know, for example, that they could have asked? I mean, there was no evidence in the CARES Act law that says that you could renovate bathrooms with federal CARES money, yet that's what we did. We should have informed the villages, which probably didn't know, that you could renovate your bathrooms with federal CARES Act money. That's just one example. And we did a lot of things, like we cleaned a sewer pipe with federal CARES Act money. We should have let them know that you could clean your plumbing pipes with federal CARES Act. I don't think too many, if you just read the law, the Federal CARES Act law, which I did, you would not know that. And I think that since we somehow knew that you're allowed to get away with doing that, we should have said, hey, you could renovate your bathrooms, you could clean your sewer pipes with Federal CARES Act money, just make an application for it. That's my point.
Okay, no.
Hold on. So you're saying, let me get this straight. So your comment is that we somehow knew, and you're agreeing with it because you said you read the federal CARES law, right? So it sounds to me that the town of Hempstead and can I finish? It sounds to me that the town of Hempstead and the comptroller's office and everyone that was involved in distributing the federal CARES money did their due diligence, because apparently they read the same law as you and knew exactly how the money could be allocated.
You twisted what I said.
No, I didn't twist it. I actually I've spent my lifetime sitting across from people and listening to what they say.
I know what I said. So that
I know exactly what you said. You said that you read the law, and then you said that somehow we also read the law. So it sounds to me that everyone who was involved in distributing the federal CARES funding throughout the town of Hempstead to hospitals, to villages, fire departments, police departments, schools, mobile vaccination units, testing, seems like the job was done the right way. So kudos to all of you. Thank you.
Mr. McCatchy.
You have to twist everything around. Thank you. We're getting nowhere here. Thank you very much.
Mr. McCatchy, thank you very much. You have a great day. All right, next I have Bonnie Garone. Good afternoon. If you give your name and address for the record.
Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. As to item 43, this appears to be approving agreements that already were given to about 25 people to be physical fitness instructors this summer. Can you tell us how those positions were advertised, if they were, and how these people were selected?
Is our Parks Commissioner?
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the board. Ms. Garone, we did not advertise them. We re-entered into contract because we have special services contracts with these instructors, and we've had great success with them in the past. So we wanted to go into the future with them using the same ones.
That's what you've said in the past with respect to these kinds of agreements.
Correct.
for other instructors. So you're telling me that the roster of instructors never changes. Will, the same people every year are instructors, never need a new one.
Did you actually say you never need a new one, or you never got new ones? Did you ever say that?
Excuse me, I didn't finish.
No, Ms. Groen, you made a representation. He said something that wasn't accurate, so I just want to make sure it was clear. He never said those things.
Thank you so much.
No problem at all. I appreciate that.
If you never need a new one, how do you get, if you ever need a new one, how is the new people selected? And if you have this stable roster of people that you hire every year, how did you find them in the first place?
These were the instructors that were in place when I assumed the position of commissioner, and since then they haven't changed.
And how many years is that?
2.5 years now.
And does anyone know how they were hired? If it's the same, you're telling me it's the exact same roster as when you were hired?
Is there a particular instructor or physical activity you would like us to dive into?
No, I'd like you to dive into making these jobs and these opportunities open to all town residents instead of hiring the same people as you say every year, never advertising any of these positions. That's what I'd like you to dive into.
We advertise lots of positions, and frankly, I got to tell you, when you run a program and you have somebody that's good at it, and people like them, let it be, a physical, instructor down at our seniors or a lacrosse camp, and if they're positive, wouldn't you want to retain that person? Like, I'll give you a case in point. My kids are at Caniac doing a lacrosse camp, and they have some really good instructors there, and they come back every single year. And they are able to deal with my older 15-year-old to my slightly more needy 9-year-old, like, fantastically. And I find it to be such a blessing. And I'm very, and it's funny, I kind of said to the guy, geez, you should go elsewhere. And he's like, oh, they really like me here, we're connected. And that's one of the reasons that you hold on. If you have somebody that's good at something, you want to hold on to them. And it creates a great vibe for the parents that use the program over their lifetime. You have families that are dropping off kids, and the familiarity, being familiar with that person and knowing them, and especially when it comes to the children, not every child's alike. My children are significantly different from my oldest daughter to my second, who's just like me, and then to my son, who, he's just a little bit, he's a 9-year-old crazy boy. But they know those campers, or those instructors know them. So I find it that, it's a real plus when you have that person that's familiar with these young kids. And a lot of this is that kind of thing. Let it be younger kids or any of our older programs. I think being able to retain somebody is a significant benefit, really, with a lot of these programs.
I think that was a very heartwarming story.
No, it's a story. It's my kids. It's my life. I haven't said a story. It's just saying it is, and I'm saying I see it firsthand. I see it firsthand in a lot of this stuff with people who love a program instructor, and they actually will come back because of that instructor. And that's why, we have really great programs in our parks, and we're very successful because we have good instructors who do these programs that really connect with all these, from adults to middle-aged to younger. So I'm a firm believer in if you can retain somebody, you do that.
I think you should retain people who are good. What I want to know is, how were they hired in the first place? How did you know they were good? How did you find these people if you never advertise these jobs?
No, but we do advertise jobs. They've been advertised over there. Joe?
May I say something? First of all, I think you explained the quality and the desire to retain the quality people perfectly. But I wanted to add, in direct response to Ms. Garone, that over a period of time, these people are recruited by the town, or they apply to the town, and they have to have a very specific set of skills. For example, a lacrosse camp. And if you look right now what's happening, not just in the town of Hempstead, but in the county of Nassau, the county of Suffolk, the other townships with lifeguards. They are asked to return every year. They apply for the job after they get certified as lifeguards. And yet right now there is a lifeguard shortage. So any prior town of Hempstead lifeguard is requested to come back and work another summer. The same is true for anyone who is, for example, teaching lacrosse or teaching soccer. They are instructors who've proven themselves, have relationships with the families who utilize those parks or who choose to go to that park for those camps. We're lucky to get them. These are not specialized, these are specialized positions with very specific requirements. And unless you could, if you know of anybody who wants to be an instructor, I would suggest that you tell them to contact the park commissioner, because it's difficult to retain very good people and have them come back every summer. And that's what we're seeking.
I have to give you credit. You guys are very good at this, evading the question and then giving speeches about how terrific everything is that you've done. Do you ever advertise? Do you ever have you advertised in recent memory for any, other than lifeguards, for any of the summer agreements, as you call them, for programs in our parks or other things? Does anyone remember ever letting the public at large know that you're looking for people to fill these spots?
In my 2.5 years, ma'am, I haven't seen the need yet. But certainly if it was necessary, we would.
Does anyone know whether prior to the past 2.5 years, can anybody in your memory recall ever advertising and letting the public know that any of these positions were open for applications?
Well, Ms. Garone, just the example that I used, in addition to the examples that Supervisor Clavin used, should be proof that we actually have done that. We have aggressively advertised and recruited lifeguards because of the lifeguard shortage. Wait, let me finish, please. Because you were asking a very specific question. We have aggressively recruited and advertised that we are hiring lifeguards because we need lifeguards. And when someone has proven themselves and been a good lifeguard, pool or ocean or whatever, they're going to be automatically asked to renew next season, the next opportunity that comes up. If we didn't do that, we wouldn't have anybody to teach these classes or to guard our pools.
You said you were answering my very specific question. My very specific question was, other than lifeguards, in anyone's memory, can you recall advertising for any other of these parks, summer programs, positions, and letting the public know that you were open to receiving applications?
I think the commissioner.
Anybody?
I think. Oh, no, look, council. The deputy supervisor says she does.
Okay.
Well, when I go into my districts, which I'm always in, I let people know what we need, and many of them know me already. So, for instance, I think we have 4 new people that are coming in this summer, you know, for our parks. And that's because we tell them, they send in whatever it is that we need, contact a person who works in his other district, and that's how we hire them. We have 4 or 5 new people this year that will be in the parks, and I think you're going to enjoy them.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor.
I said thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just like to say this. I'm looking at the list. We have like 26 people, all with specialization on certain type of activities. Deputy Supervisor mentions that she speaks to the community. So maybe we do get them from word of mouth. They're getting a couple of $100 for things like Zumba, karate, and all these things. So that's the way it's done sometimes. Sometimes it's just word of mouth. Nobody's getting rich on this. It's just basically a labor of love and things that they like to do, and very creative and specific. And that's
Zumba is
basically
very
it.
highly specialized. I do recall that. I thank you very much, Deputy Supervisor, but nobody else remembers doing this?
Thank you, Ms. Garone. Always a pleasure. Next, I have Dorothy Claus. Ms. Claus, you come up to the front. Are you asking a question on the administrative calendar, or is it just a general topic? Okay. So if it's not on the administrative calendar, you want us to wait until we call the miscellaneous, and I'll have you speak first? Because we're just doing the calendar right now. Can you wait 1 second? Okay. Okay. All right, then we'll let you go then. The floor is yours.
I received a letter from your county executive on Saturday in response to my property, my lot change. Now, it states, my name is Dorothy R. Claus, 682 Cottage Street, Uniondale. Good day, everyone. It said, Dorothy Frett, 682 Cottage Street, Uniondale, New York. Reference, Section 50, Block 125, Lot 11, because that's what's on my deed. Because you all needed 4 digits for your computer, you added 2 zeros in front of the 11. Didn't complain. Now, you said the assessment office, who is Nassau County, wanted 5 digits. So they added a 0 behind the 11, so it's 00110, which is 110. That means my lot number has been changed. Here, it says, my site is impaired, also known as parcel 50 125 00 110 110. So they also stated the 0 was added as a filler, but my property did not need a suffix, but it's a filler, just in case a suffix is needed later on. Then they go down in another paragraph down to the end and they said they've been using this computer system for the last 20 years because of your assessment, blah, blah, blah. This was sent, letter was also sent to Honorable Kevin Abrams and Honorable Dorothy Gooseby. I also give a few of the members up there this morning copies that I made of this letter. Because the taxes are paid here in Nassau County, I pay to Hempstead. In the first place, I'm no longer Dorothy Frett. My husband is dead. I'm De Castro, maiden name O'Claws. Since you all can't do anything, I'm taking this outside of Nassau County because I've run around since last year and this year about my home. Okay. So I'm going to take it outside.
Understood. The last thing is, I know Ms. Vanderhall, I see you back there. Can we confirm that a change of name has been submitted for documentation, have a bill to reflect the right one? I know that. I appreciate that very much, as always.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Claus. With that, I don't have anybody else signed up for the administrative calendar. May I please have a motion?
I move the administrative calendar in its entirety.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Councilman Dunn. Aye. Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
And Councilman Muscarella.
Aye.
Okay, may I have a motion we adjourn?
Supervisor, I make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Supervisor Clavin.
Aye.
Councilman Carini.
Aye.
Councilman D'Esposito.
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
Aye.
Councilwoman Miller.
Aye.
Councilman Muscarella.
Dunn
Done.
said aye.
Was Dunn called? It was definitely intentional. Good. The
That I understand.
I can understand the missing Dennis thing. That's no problem with that. All right, now that the formal portion of the program has been adjourned, the town board will remain to listen to the comments of the residents, and we'll start off with Felix Percacci. Good afternoon, Mr. Percacci. If you give your name and address for the record.
Felix Procacci, Franklin Square. On June 8, 2021, I filed a lawsuit against the town of Hempstead because the town did not respond to my FOIL appeals, violating state law. When the press asked the Clavin administration to comment on this matter, town spokesman Greg Blower characterized the lawsuit as a baseless partisan attack. In response to the so-called baseless partisan attack, the town attorney's office hired outside counsel to defend the town. It is important to note that in all the court documents and correspondence submitted by the town's outside counsel never characterized this case as baseless. 8 months later, on February 9, 2022, the town offered to reimburse me for my court costs and provide the records I requested, proving that I had prevailed. The facts discovered in this case show this was not a baseless partisan attack, but was a legitimate legal response to the town's refusing to abide by the law. In particular, the town attorney's office refused to abide by the law. At the last meeting, Supervisor Clavin said I had crossed the line by accusing Town Attorney Nocella of being unethical. In Clavin's meandering statement, he never specifically addressed the unethical actions I accused Mr. Nocella of, but instead spoke in platitudes. Clavin did not defend Mr. Nocella's failure to ensure his department properly handled FOIL appeals. Clavin did not defend Mr. Nocella's failure to properly execute his duties as an ethics board member. In each of these instances, Mr. Nocella, a judicial candidate, had chosen to do nothing to ensure the town abides by the law. The proverbial line that Supervisor claims I had crossed has to do with what he feels is appropriate at a public meeting. Well, I tried to communicate my concerns with Mr. Nocella in private, but Mr. Nocella just ignored me. He just walked away from me, and he ignored my emails. It is not unreasonable to expect an attorney to follow the law. And if a town attorney does not follow the law, it is not unreasonable to say that that attorney lacks the ethical qualities to be a judge. If anyone feels differently, please do not respond with platitudes. Be specific. One more. Also, Greg Blower, the town spokesperson, crossed. Also, Mr. Clavin, do you feel that Greg Blower, the town spokesman, crossed any line when he misled residents about the nature of my lawsuit, calling it a baseless partisan attack? Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Mr. Bacacci. Next, I have Tom Perry. Tom Perry. Mr. Perry, why don't you come up here? I'll make it a little bit easier for there. Yeah, absolutely. Just give your name and address to the record. Thank you.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. As Monty Python used to say, and now for something completely different that you've never heard of. I have something that I want to sell to the town of Hempstead that you've never heard of. It's a science called magnetohydrodynamics. What that is very specialized, powerful magnetic units. Here's one, it's an old one. It goes on fuel lines to your boiler, oil or natural gas. This is a very old science. It should be taught in high school. First patent came out in 1869. The Library of Congress has 18,300 patents on MHD. I have showed this information to Mr. Dominic Lombardi, and other people have told me that I should go to a council meeting and make you aware of this technology. When these powerful magnets go on the fuel line to a boiler or a furnace, it makes oxygen stick to the fuel better, and you get a better, more complete burn, and you have less carbon emissions. These units pay for themselves in 2 or 3 years, and people tell me this can't be true because they've never heard of it. So I came to this meeting to tell you about what I have. I can save the town of Hempstead 20 to 25% of their heating bill for this building and every building they have, simply by installing 4 of these units on a fuel line to a boiler or furnace. It's that simple. I'm going to all the towns and counties. I get a lot of pushback because people just don't want to be bothered with learning about something they've never heard of before. So this is step one, me going to the council. Should I provide you, mail you with some information to explain this?
Yeah, well, Mr. Perry, like I said, I would actually, I'll get your name and address at the end of this, and I'll get you in contact with our conservation team, because a lot of people said you couldn't use hydrogen to fuel, and now we're actually in the cutting edge down there. Cape Murray put a hydrogen station in almost 15 years ago, and now we're working with Toyota to hydrogen fuel vehicles. So I'll be delighted to take your name and number and get you in contact with our conservation department, because we're actually working with several big entities on hydrogen fueling. So stick around here. Bobby Geese, he's in the back there. He's going to take your name and number, and I'll have somebody call you from the conservation department, because like I said, we're sort of working on a lot of projects. All right?
Conservation Department with that.
Yeah, conservation. But Robert Geese back there, he's going to get your name and address at the address, and I'll have somebody from the department contact you to go in and talk to you about it.
All right, but also, I guess I should speak to Public Works or Facilities. I guess I should be talking to them both, or only Conservation.
Just right now, I'd start with conservation, okay, and we'll follow up. Okay? All
right.
Thank you very much for bringing it to attention. He's right back there for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I have Bonnie Garone. Bobby, got him? You got him, Mr. Perry? Thanks. Afternoon, Ms. Garone.
Bonnie Garone, Rockville Center. As you know, redistricting of the town's council districts is required after the most recent federal census. I'd like to know, and I believe residents are entitled to know, when you will be undertaking the redistricting process and how you will be informing and including residents to ensure that the process is open and fair. I sincerely hope that you're not planning to create the maps in darkness, keeping them secret until 3 days before the board meeting where you will vote on them, as you do with most board items, because I think the town residents deserve better than that. Where the council lines are drawn is important, and some would say that recently the public saw that in two very different items. Number one, would Baldwin residents have suffered from such a long, drawn-out process for its downtown revitalization if Baldwin had one representative to deal with and responsible to it, instead of being carved up into 3 different council districts? Would Elmont have needed representatives outside of town government to advocate to get Elmont Road Park opened if Elmont had one representative responsible to it, instead of being divided between 2 districts and lumped in with Garden City, Atlantic Beach, and other communities with which it has little in common? The maps matter, and the public should be involved. For example, the town of North Hempstead this year had a bipartisan redistricting commission. I really hope you're listening. Had a bipartisan redistricting commission and multiple public hearings for residents to view proposed maps and have input. This board should do no less than that. As to timing, the last time redistricting of the town was done was in 2013. And at that time, the redistricting was voted on in April, effective in June in 2013, so that the new lines were in place for the town election that November. But back in 2013, the primary elections were in September. Now, the primary elections are in June. So next year, the town election year, the primary will likely be in June, with designating petitions likely starting in March. As a result, redistricting must be done much earlier than you did it last time around. So now is the time to be talking about this and to get the public involved. Can you tell us what your plans are?
Well, Ms. Garone, I think that I don't want to speak for everyone on this board, but I think for me personally, I think that if we make sure that we don't follow any of the direction of the New York State Democrats and what they've done over the last year with completely disenfranchising voters to the point where Supreme Court judges and judges from the appeals court had to throw out their maps. I think if we take the step and avoid anything that they did, I think the residents of the town of Hempstead will be in good shape.
Thank you for that political commercial.
Well, I mean, you're painting the picture that that the town of Hempstead is operating under the cloak of darkness, which is clearly not the case. And what we saw over the last few months is that the Democratic Party in New York State did exactly that. And when they said that they were trying to include everyone, in fact, disenfranchised thousands upon hundreds of thousands of voters in New York State.
Thank you, candidate D'Esposito, but what I said was, I hope you're not going to do it in darkness. And I asked you when you're going to do it and how you're going to include
Thank you,
residents.
Ms.
I'm gonna
Garone. Thank you so much, and I will echo, we will absolutely see exactly what New York State did, and we will do our best not to file their absolute disaster and take into court and lose every single battle. So thank you as always. Next I have, let's see, we have Pearl Jacobs.
When are you going?
Oh, thank you so much. Again, thanks, Ms. Garone. You take care. Have a great, happy 4th of July. But now we have Pearl Jacobs. Thank you so much.
More residents.
Happy 4th of July to you. You take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Good job.
Good afternoon. Your name and address for the record, Ms. Jacobs. Thanks.
Yes, Pearl Jacobs, Uniondale. I would like to at least give you a thanks for this mailer you sent out regarding fireworks safety in town of Hempstead, Nassau County. Fireworks are a big problem, a huge problem in Nassau County, town of Hempstead. It's like living in a war zone. So this is, okay, so this came out. This is okay, no problem, Bonnie. I would like to thank John Conroy and John Lipinski for supporting and their hard work in supporting Uniondale to bring about positive quality of life transformation. They work very hard, their teams work very hard, and we appreciate all that they do. I have a question. The town of Hempstead streetscaping improvement signage has remained on Front Street for almost 1 year now. And when will this proposed project commence? I have spoken with Senator Thomas's office and was informed that they would reach out to the town of Hempstead. Any update on that proposed?
Well, after the meeting, I'm happy to have John Rodkamp, the commissioner, to talk to you after the meeting.
Is he here?
John, raise your hand. There he is.
Can you speak on this, sir?
No, Ms. Jacobs, you've been coming for a long time. We're going to listen to you, and I said he'll make himself available after the meeting for you.
Well, why can't he speak now? Why can't he answer my question now? I'm asking
Ms. Jacobs, I've clearly said he's going to be available to talk to you after the meeting.
But I don't have time after the meeting. I want my question answered.
You have a minute and 47 seconds left. It won't be that long.
No, why can't he answer my question? Everyone else had their question answered in public. Why can't my question be answered in public? Am I being discriminated against?
Ms. Jacobs, not at all.
I'm just asking. Why can't my question
But I'm
be
telling you,
answered
and
in
I just gave you the answer. I'm just answering. So no, he'll stick around after. He's going to talk to you right after.
So I hope this is on record and everybody watches that I can't have my question answered in public.
No, actually, let's see on record that I'm actually making the commissioner available.
California
to you right after the meeting.
Avenue. Severe ponding continues to languish on California Avenue, directly across from the California Avenue Elementary School. Dirty, stagnant water is a health and safety issue for our children and for everyone else. I have sent emails to your office, Councilwoman Gooseby, and copied you and also Supervisor Clavin regarding this issue. They were never answered, of course. And when will this health and safety issue be addressed? When will it be addressed?
Well,
It's this stagnant water that languishes.
I haven't. I'm going to answer your question.
I have
now.
seen you.
Oh, no, listen, I'm going to give you your answer now. I haven't seen it, and thanks for bringing the attention. I'm going to have my engineering head find out for you, and we'll get you a response.
Okay,
we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
To you and Councilwoman Gooseby in the past.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you actually heard Deputy Supervisor Gooseby.
I'm not here to massage anyone's ego. I'm here to fight for Uniondale and to get results for Uniondale. Can you answer that question? What is the roles and responsibilities of the deputy supervisor?
I just actually answered the question where I said.
No, this is a different question. What are the roles and responsibility of a deputy supervisor?
Ms. Jacobs, continue with your time. This is great.
Either. I'm not here to massage anybody's ego. I'm here to get a job done in Uniondale. Thank you.
Clearly. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate it as always. Next, I have Diane Madden.
Diane Madden, Hempstead. There was a lot of talk about specialized positions earlier, and the animal shelter, there is no department in this town that requires a more specialized position than the director. I don't want the board to take my presence here because at some point I hope that the animal shelter improves so much that it won't require so much public outcry and making the board aware of what's going on at that animal shelter that continues to. I hope the supervisor, who apparently is looking to take the shelter in a different direction, won't require a lot more evidence. I don't know how much more evidence will be needed, that we need a compassionate, humane, kind, knowledgeable, experienced, open-minded director at the shelter, and that's when the problems will get resolved. As far as the backlog and the continued backlog of applications, people are coming in there. We have to be glad they're adopting. People can't feed their families with groceries, inflation, and gas, and yet you have the public coming in to adopt animals. It should be as smooth as silk. Instead, there are obstructions, backwards policies, backdated applications where the public's not hearing from the shelter for maybe up to a week, 5 to 7 days. I want to let the board know that there are many capable people in the front office that have been cross-trained, not by Mr. Pastore, but before that they were cross-trained for the purpose to make sure that applications like that were not sitting where applicants then go on to adopt elsewhere. At this time, the programs at the animal shelter should be being optimized, not raised from the ashes as they are. And again, I ask this board, Mr. Pastore serves at your pleasure. I don't know how much of a pleasure it's been, but it's been no pleasure for animals, employees, the public, and you can see that all over social media. I do thank the board members who got involved with Zena's rescue. She would have sat there with a rash, untreated, and not in a foster home or permanent home where she is. The shelter decided to make it a dog and pony show, as if they did anything other than pick up a video camera and pretend they did it. I hope your involvement continues, Supervisor. That is going to make all the difference in the world. Currently, as you may or may not know, Mr. Pastore doesn't care that the phones aren't being answered at the animal shelter. He doesn't care that adoptions are backlogged. The amount of injuries, the lawsuits that we're paying for, by the way, that are all preventable. There's no experts. Every department has no real leadership in it. And the problems, once again, are rising in the volunteer program.
As always, I appreciate your passion and information, and no one's ever, when someone passes something on, I'll just say it's never a burden, and no one should ever look at it that way, and I appreciate you working with people. With that, I'm going to bring up Chris Jacobs.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Thank you, Ms. Madden.
Continue the work, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Your name and address for the record?
Chris Jacobs, Uniondale, New York. I have a letter that I've gotten from the Department of Highways regarding a catch basin by my home in Uniondale. The letter states, "Dear Sir, Madam, this will supplement our last communication with you relative to the storm drain in front of your home. Inspection revealed the catch basin is deteriorating. The work required is beyond investigatory scope of this department. We are referring to this matter of the engineering department for review and inclusion into the requirements for contract for repair. I am asking the engineering department to contact you directly with their findings." That was signed by Gregory Calarossi, Commissioner of Highways. As of now, this letter was sent to my home on May 2nd, 2022. And as of now, which is almost July, we haven't gotten any contact from the commission, the engineering department. So I would like to know when the work will commence on my catch basin by my home, which is falling apart, is separating from the sidewalk right now, and it's dangerous to the kids. I've seen kids get their bikes stuck in there as kids jump the curb and stuff like that, and also small animals getting stuck in there. So I would like to know when the work is going to commence.
I can't answer any question about that, but I know I have my engineering commissioner. He's raising his hand right there, and after you're done speaking, he's going to go to the back and talk to you directly.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Not a problem at all. Thanks for coming in today.
You too.
Michael Romano. You might have left. And Marcia Dutieri.
Good afternoon, Marcia Dutieri, Merrick, New York.
Aye.
I did have a slip in the administrative calendar, item 47, emergency removal of trees instead of emergency planting. I don't know if you can answer that after. Regarding my comments, I would like to know if you, Supervisor, received any of my messages regarding meeting with you. I would feel it would be much more beneficial if we were able to have a conversation and possibly a solution to the never-ending removal of healthy trees, mostly by developers. I state the devastating facts of healthy tree removal at every meeting, never getting a response. And when Councilwoman Miller said a tree cannot be removed without a permit relating to June 14th administrative calendar, numbers 15 through 18, it would have been nice to get a response when I inquired about her comment. Have laws changed to benefit the environment? Do the town of Hempstead laws now coincide with the town of North Hempstead and Oyster Bay, stating that no healthy tree can be removed from a property without just cause, a permit, and consequences? Or would these items single dwellings that the aforementioned developers want to subdivide and remove all of the trees that they do with every property bought? Who can I speak with to set up a meeting to discuss what's with the town attorney for these past 3 years, even including Legislator McKevitt, who can speak on the county working with the town to benefit the constituents from his district, which is one of the top 3 areas of destruction. If preservation laws from the town have changed, can someone answer that question for me now? And lastly, when approached last meeting by the commissioner of the animal shelter, I brought up that it would be nice if some of the emails received by the town were regarding all of the animals for adoption, need for volunteers, more fosters, and most of all, socialization to get them out of their prison cells and into loving homes. I haven't seen any email communications, and that is wrong.
Thanks,
Can you
Mr.
answer
Thierry. Well, I'll tell you right now, is a gentleman right in the front row, it's my Chief of Staff, Jack Libbert, right there. He's going to follow up with you after the meeting.
Okay, and what about the administrative calendar, removal of emergency removal?
I can't answer that because we passed it already. There was no sign-in for the administrative calendar on that. But after, I'll ask Joe Nacella, my town attorney, to talk to you about that. So he's not going to go anywhere either. So you got Jack and Joe.
And Councilwoman Miller, that was misinformation. I don't know.
Well,
We should got that, but-
you can't speak to that. So, but thank you very much. So Jack and Joe, I appreciate that you both of you talking with her. I don't have any other slips in the administrative calendar or the the public comment. Anybody else that has not been heard that wishes to be heard? If not, I'd say have a wonderful 4th of July. God bless America.
Ha ha ha.